Hello everybody and welcome back. Good to talk to all of you again today. And today let's take a look at this work in progress tier 10 British battleship, the Thunderer. Now when she was first provided to the CCs as a work in progress ship, I had sort of made fun of her by saying, hey, you could take Conqueror, slap on 457s and you'd have a better Thunderer. And that was true for the initial iteration, but this new iteration that they've given us, well, she's a bit of a different beast. So first things first, let's sort of talk about, what are things that are still similar and what are things that have kind of changed. So in terms of her armor profile, in terms of the above water citadel, in terms of the relatively poor torpedo protection, Thunderer and Conqueror are pretty much the same exact hull. So same weaknesses in that regard. While Conqueror does have access to a super heal, Thunderer does not. She's got, well, something that is not as super, but she does have access to DFAA. Whether that trade-off is a good one or not is, well, hard to say. But what Thunderer does gain, however, is some really interesting little quirks for her main guns. And the first of these is the fact that she actually has improved dispersion. She's got only 8 shells. They're 457mm. They're very, very hard-hitting shells. But when the dispersion was as bad as the original Conqueror was, you'd rather just go for shell volume. But the Thunderer, well, she has improved dispersion, which means that her 8 shells, if you aim them right, have a very, very good chance of actually landing on stuff. And with their crazy fire chance, if you actually opt to shoot HE, you are definitely going to get good games with good amounts of damage. I had one game, the very first one I played with Thunderer, where I think I casually just did like 209,000 and was like, whoa, I did 200k plus damage. Now, aside from that, she's also got actually usable armor piercing, which is not just like the normal, British battleships with their short fuses that you go, yeah, you can use their AP on occasion. No, these are actually usable AP shells. First things first, they have standard battleship fuse time 0.033, which means that you actually can't get citadels. And second, because improved dispersion, you can actually get really good chunks of damage with the armor piercing. And this actually makes Thunderer a battleship where both the HE and AP are both highly usable, making sure that as a player, you constantly have to juggle decisions on which ammo you want to shoot, which is actually, kind of a good thing because it actually does add a certain kind of challenge for the player. But really, you could just entirely shoot HE or entirely shoot AP, and this ship would work as well. Another sort of rather significant difference between Thunderer and Conqueror is the fact that Thunderer, if you equip the reload module, the guns reload in 22.9 seconds. This reload speed, combined with the dispersion, combined with the fact that her HE is excellent and her AP is excellent, makes Thunderer's main battery something that you have to give a certain degree of respect to. This ship has some pretty mean guns. Let's just leave it like that. And for better players especially, this ship will be scary because, if you're in like cruisers or whatever, your armor is not going to be effective against the shells that the Thunderer is going to be throwing around. Where with the Conqueror, you, depending on which ship you're in, you do have some degree of protection in certain situations. But Thunderer is like Georgia, and boy, the guns are dangerous. Let's just leave it like that. But of course, you're going to ask the question, like, what's the mileage going to be if you're, let's say, an average player? I think for the really good players, if you're giving them the choice between Thunderer and Conqueror, I think the universal trend would be to take Thunderer. The really good players, like the Unicum players in the game, they want accurate guns. They want the little quirks, like the overmatch capabilities. They want that kind of ability with their main battery. But if you're the average player, I think what's going to happen is you're probably still going to favor Conqueror more. One, Conqueror has 12 guns. 12 guns, 12 shells. It's easier to hit. It's more forgiving of not having the best aim. So for that reason and that reason alone, I think a lot of people are still going to stick with the Conqueror. Plus, press 1, load HE, and off you go with the Conqueror. You almost never have to switch to the other shell type. With this ship, you actually do have to make that decision, right? Like, which ship, which kind of ammunition. Right. Moving on. Another thing is, Conqueror still has that super heal. Super heal is really forgiving of a lot of things. Like, you make a mistake, you get burned a little bit too long by HE, it's okay. You know, press that magic repair key, and you can rebuild yourself a ship. Thunderer doesn't get that, right? And so, with Thunderer, your ability to angle, your positioning, and all that will be really, really key. Because she has the same sort of weaknesses that Conqueror does, to like HE shells and things like that. She has 32 everywhere, 32mm armor everywhere, and that's rough. But still, personally for me, I actually surprisingly like this ship because, in a way, she is kind of like the way Ohio was when Ohio first came out. You know, with those 8 guns, the 457s, that overmatch capability, and that accuracy. She's got that. But she is less durable than Ohio, right? So Ohio had a lot of things going for her because she was basically the excellent Montana plus those guns and that ability with that dispersion. Thunderer is that dispersion minus some of that durability and this beautiful reload. I like her. Let's just put it that way. But for sure, you'll see a little bit later, there are weaknesses, and they're pretty notable weaknesses, which, again, Ohio definitely had less of. One of the weaknesses, of course, is that Race Citadel. And the Race Citadel is going to cause a lot of inexperienced players problems if they play the ship, because what's going to happen is you're going to go broadside and somebody is going to blap you and you're going to think the ship is awful. Hell, I actually nearly made a mistake in this game and got blapped. I attribute that to the fact that I was a little bit greedy and I wanted to nab a kill, and that was me. That was my fault. All right. So let's take a look at the enemy team here and you'll sort of see what's going on. So you'll notice that there's a group of enemy ships that is pushing sort of north of the B cap, and then you have the Kremlin, which is to the south. So that kind of, in my position, means that I'm kind of being pincered here. Not really my favorite kind of position. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rid of this Kremlin and then go from sort of south to north. I'm able to, you know, eliminate the threat from behind me and then just turn around and engage stuff in front of me. That's what I want to do. But of course you can see the enemy ships are pushing quite quickly from the north. So I'm like, oh man, I really got to get this Kremlin down quickly. Okay, got fires. The Kremlin popped, I think, damage control there. Alright, so another HE salvo. The HE salvos, if you can land them, you'll notice that they do actually do pretty good damage. This salvo, come on now, land. Yeah, okay. Alright, that wasn't that many penetrations, so that damage was kind of like, meh, whatever. And also with the fire chance, by the way. With the fire flags, no demo expert, 65% chance of fire. So excellent fire chance on the shells. And against a ship like Kreml, yeah. Here is where could have probably just, you know, accelerated, full turned, and try to get out of the lethal zone. And you'll notice that my rudder's not full over because I really want to get a shot in on that destroyer. I'm actually going to pay for that quite dearly here because you'll see incoming Kremlin salvo, Race Citadel, bam, 41,000 HP gone. Oof. Oof. Painful. Kremlin is, of course, still kind of bow on towards me, so once again, loading the HE. Oh, I gotta get out of here. HP's not that good, but if I can get away, get another heal off, I should be alright to fight for a little bit longer. And then, of course, enemy Kremlin runs into a torpedo. Fantastic. Kremlin is now flooded. Kremlin floods is going to pop damage control, so of course I'm going to fire my HE. Because why? I want to set him on fire. Because why the heck not? I have the ability to, and that's the thing, right? Thunderer, you can definitely use HE only, but a really good Thunderer will definitely be switching between the two shell types, for sure. The AP is just too good not to be used. Anyways, this Kremlin, of course, is in a not so good position for my AP, so obviously gonna be flinging HE downrange. That was just a poorly aimed salvo. Of course, you'll notice that I am, of course, kiting away, trying to not get shot at by the Kreml again, because that 41k salvo, ouch. Yep, did get hit by HE there, and immediately had to blow my damage control. Why? Because I was just too low on HP. get another heal off. Hopefully by the time this heal goes up most of the way, I'll be a little bit healthier, maybe in the yellow range. Kremlin definitely being taken down slowly but surely. Hopefully I can add another salvo in here. I'm really just paying attention to this Kreml, waiting for the Kreml to open fire on something. Okay, don't think the Kreml was looking my direction. That's why I took that salvo there. And yeah, that's a decent hit. Okay, that's a decent hit. Couple of good penetrations with the HE. Got some damage there. Kreml is now much more worried about closer targets, so shot the salvo. Really low now. Here's another salvo inbound. That reload speed, by the way, is really good. Like, really good. The reload is crazy, especially when you get some of the adrenaline rush going. Like, wow. Like, this is phenomenal. Oh, I made him angry. I definitely made that Kremlin angry. Oh, okay, ow. Alright, 5,000 damage, that's okay. I burned him down. Good. So far, so good, but of course the enemy team does have a bit of an advantage right now. They got a cap advantage, they got more ships really sort of focused in the middle. Got to turn around and deal with them somehow. Oh, enemy Bourgogne. Alright, pretty far away. I'm going to take a shot anyways, get myself turned around. Think that's a relatively decent disperse. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good dispersing salvo right there. Especially at the range that I'm shooting at. If you're like using a Conqueror at that kind of range, you'll see the shells kind of just go everywhere. So that one wasn't actually that bad. This salvo, on the other hand, not all that good. Yeah, the Bourgogne was actually able to accelerate enough to get away from the shells, so it's okay. I'm trying to close back down the range because you'll notice that I do have a reasonable amount of HP now, so I can probably go back in there and fight. That Citadel hit that I took, ouch, you know, HP lost in the worst possible way, so hey, it happens. Anyway, another salvo. Again, pretty good dispersion there, especially at the ranges that I'm engaging targets at here. Bang, okay, that was not very good, didn't really hit anything there. Bourgogne is really starting to run away from me now. Darn, come on now, another salvo. The reload is really nice right now. I mean, about half HP, just a little bit more than half HP gone. My reload is just sweet. For a battleship, especially firing this kind of gun, oof. Yeah, I got some really, really good reload. And that's one of those things, you know, with that change to Thunderer, she's got that amazing ability to, I mean, that's a sub 20-second reload, I think. You know, you really have the ability to pump out those shells, which is like, watch the heck out. Enemy battleships, if really like Thunder is coming after you with like the HE, oof, it's scary. It really is. Earlier, I think I had one battle where it's like, yep, the Yamato in front of me didn't matter. The Montana in front of me, that didn't matter either. But you do have to keep kind of some distance. Thunder isn't all that great at rushing into stuff, mostly because she gets focused. And the minute you do get focused by like HE, your life becomes kind of painful. You can get melted. Oof, especially currently, right? The game with all the high HE DPM spammers. Ships like Harugumo, yikes, not good for you. So you do have to kind of generally play a little bit more of a standoffish kind of style of play, but there are certain times where you really do have to push in, and this is going to be the kind of time for me. Enemy team has 2 cap advantage, they got points advantage, and positionally they're pretty good, so I really have to find a way to push in here and try to make a difference. Currently shooting at the Vanguard, hoping some of the shells might drop in on that Jean Bart. That Jean Bart actually stayed in a pretty good position for most of this. Just kind of bow in, make himself difficult. Had I had more HP, and I think I had a bit more time and I wasn't trying to make that play, probably could have burned him down, but then also a chance that we might have lost this game, perhaps. No guarantees there. So I'm trying to get around here to get some kind of sightline onto that Jean Bart. Oh, the Bourgogne is back again. Okay, this was a relatively safe salvo just because I was behind a rock, but yeah, I'm not going to hit him. That was too much of a snapshot. All right, let me see if I can line one up properly, and then, you know, and there's a very good chance that I might be using AP again sometime during this engagement. I think I remember switching to it. Jean Bart is bow on. Fantastic. There it is. Salvo. Yes, there you go. Bourgogne makes a bit of a mistake if you want to think about it. Just kind of goes broadside. immediately see me sort of loading the AP now, and I'm really going to try to kill the ship, because right now we're down too much on points, and things are looking a little dicey for our win. So come on now. Oh, one other thing. Because her AP is actually the way it is in terms of usability and effectiveness, Thunder's abilities to carry a game might actually be better than Conqueror's, because Conqueror was very sort of relegated to one role and one role only. Thunder, I think, might actually be better in this regard. You know, she might actually have more impact. Okay, getting, you know, like, look at the dispersion, right? It's actually really nice. Okay, aiming like a potato, but that's my fault. This game was starting to get late. This, you know, just like me doing this recording right now is definitely on the late side of stuff. Okay, Bourgogne is gone. 182,000 damage. Jean Bart is still bowing to me. Okay, watch my HP, right? I look like I have some HP, but watch how quickly it goes away. That Baltimore, here we go. Salvo, inbound, and I'm definitely going to hurt this Balti for sure. There you go, bang. That's a painful hit there. All right, 13k HP. Oof, look at that. There's a fire, starting to burn me down. Starting to run out of health, and there's a combination HE's blast and blep. I'm dead. Now, we still actually win this game. 203,000 damage, you know, I actually get a good number of hits, good number of fires, get 2 citadels, right? Manage to sink 4 ships. So, you know, performance-wise, still really, really good. And then take a look at, you know, sort of base experience, see sort of where I placed on the team, you know. Yeah, see, like 2,000 base experience. Typically, I see anything above like 2k base experience as being a pretty darn good game. And this one was good in that regard. And one of the big reasons why is the fact that, hey, I actually used AP. HE tends to be kind of blah at times. So you'll notice that the damage was sort of very well distributed between HE and AP damage. And I also picked up about 38,000 in fires. All in all, I like that. That's a nice kind of balanced, you know, battleship damage with 2 usable ammos, right? I like it. It's good. All right, and finally, of course, you know, we got to look at the credits earned and everything. Yeah, that's not bad, right? 336,000 net earning credits game. So all in all, pretty good. So, you know, in her present configuration, yeah, I actually kind of like Thunderer. She's not the same as the Conqueror. She's got her own little flavor, and she's got her own little thing. And, you know, I'm excited to kind of see her in game if this is how she ends up being at the end when they do the final reviews. So keep your eyes open for that. You know, when that time comes, I'll have a video out for her in her final configuration. And one last bit of housekeeping. I apologize. I originally had like 4 other videos lined up from 4 replays when I was regrinding my USN Heavy Cruiser lines. It was like really, really good games and would teach you a ton about USN Heavy Cruisers. And then because of the fact that replays are limited to only 30, yeah, I lost them all. So sorry about that. I will try to regrind the line again, get those replays, and upload those videos for those of you who've been asking me about USN Heavy Cruisers. Anyways, aside from all that, folks, take care. Have yourselves a really good one. And I'll talk to all of you again soon.